Guys, when you stay at an Airbnb, your cleaning fee does not cover things like rearranging the entire house, okay? We as hosts do not have time to do that. And then when we say no pets, don't tell me that a cat is a service animal, because according to the ADA rules, it is not.
Listen, guys, I know. Orlando, you're laughing, but you gotta admit that is funny. That is funny. She's saying no pets, and someone said, "Listen, my cat is a service animal." And she said, "Not underneath Rule 85 3060 AB." Now listen, I know that may not be your humor, but listen, I did tell these hosts that if you want to become a hotel owner, you want to get into Airbnb, get ready, because the cities will want their cut. And now the cities are saying, underneath Rule XYZ for commercial properties, since this is technically a hotel, now all the rules are coming down. Pay me my money. And Airbnb hosts are saying, oh no. It was easier making money 2-3 years ago. Yes, 2-3 years ago. But today, we're losing money. We're putting our Airbnbs back on the market. You know why? Because for some odd reason, as the economy goes down, people are pulling back. They're saying, I'm just gonna go to a hotel. Your fees are getting ridiculous. And on top of that, I don't even know if I could even afford a vacation. But we're gonna jump into it, guys. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Also, too, I have a newsletter. Yes, a newsletter. And guess what? It's completely free, and you will get tons of value from it. Also, too, if you need any type of financing that deals with commercial properties or investment properties, I am your guy. I've been a lender for almost 20 years, and I can assist you with that. That information is in the pinned comment in the description. Let's jump straight to it, guys. Listen, I've done videos on this previously. I've told individuals, look, the writing's on the wall. It's on the wall, guys. Listen, I said, not only are prices gonna drop in areas like Florida, Texas, all of these coastal cities, you know, the places where tons and tons and tons of people went and bought Airbnbs, and they said, oh, woo, we're gonna be making $10,000 to $15,000, $20,000 a month. Yeah, remember when these guys were telling you guys to do Airbnb arbitrage, where you go in and you rent a place and then you sublease it out to someone else doing Airbnb?
That can't be legal.
Those guys are breaking leases, ruining their credit because they thought they could do arbitration.
Get money.
When the city cracks down and says, hey, why is this on Airbnb? You're supposed to be leasing it. The Airbnb host is like, oh, gotta get out. And they abandon the property. Only to get banned on Airbnb, only to get your credit ruined, only to be in collections for the lease, only to get fees from the city. Sounds like a great plan, right? You should do Airbnb today. That's what I was forewarning people about.
Now that's a bright idea.
But let me guess. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Let's see.
So I sold my Airbnb. I'm in it right now for the last time. I'm gonna take down the Ring cameras, but it's going to be selling in a couple days, and let me tell you why. So I had this property on Airbnb, I wanna say for 4 months. I know in the beginning it's slow and you have to start off your reviews and build it up and things like that. But I never hit the numbers that AirDNA gave me, and I never was hitting any numbers that anybody else gave me. So every month I calculated after the second month of doing Airbnb and thinking I was doing good because I had people in here every weekend, I was losing about $2,000 a month having this Airbnb. So I talked to a couple of my mentors and I said, do I weather this storm and eat the $2,000 until spring and summer come back and pray that the rent amount will go up? And they told me no. They said, sell it now. Walk away. Even if you walk away with no money, it's better than bleeding $2,000 a month.
See what I'm talking about, guys? See, this is what I was trying to forewarn individuals about.
Didn't I tell you? It was just a matter of time.
So a couple of years, 3-4 years ago, when I was telling individuals, guess what? You know, as the economy goes down, one of the biggest industries that get hit really hard is hotels. You know the reason why? Because people stop going on vacation when things get tight.
I'm broke.
But listen, some people don't understand. That meat is crazy. They don't understand. So they have to go through the entire lesson. They have to go through selling your property, losing $2,000 a month, losing money on the property, going through bankruptcy to understand this is not what you thought it was.
So I know everybody says that investing in Airbnbs is like the best way to invest in real estate. And I get it. It sounds sexy. Like I almost bought one myself. That was until I continued my research and really started to understand the big risks that come with running short-term rentals. Now, there's a lot of Airbnbs that are not doing so hot right now, despite having higher rents and no long-term tenant issues. But here's the things that a lot of people are not talking about. The first one is we're headed for a recession, if we're not already in it. And one of the first things that people cut is their travel, which is like their discretionary spending. If people are not making bookings, you are not making money. Number two, due to COVID, more people were staying local. And now that we can actually travel freely again, people may choose to go elsewhere. They may not stay within their home country. I know I had been itching to get back to Mexico. Number three, the most volatile housing stock is vacation rentals. In a downturn, those are the things that people sell first. And because those are the first things to go and more properties typically come on the market during that time, you have more inventory that pushes prices down.
And then people will say, well, Orlando, what are you talking about? The good thing about it is that I'm a short-term rental. I'm not a hotel. What? You do know the reason why people choose Airbnbs. They are choosing Airbnbs over hotels, right? So you are in the same industry. You know that, right? And when the economy goes down, guys, let me tell you this. As a lender myself, everybody X's out hotels. Everyone says, we're going to stop. We're going to stop.
Okay, that's enough. I'm done. I promise I'm done.
Our box is full once we get, 4 or 5 great hotels that we underwrite. Other than that, all the rest of them go to the wayside. You know the reason why? It's because hotels are hard. Let me say that again. Running a hotel is hard. I would not tell one person, you should do a hotel unless you're ready for a hard, grinding job. It's not easy money. So when you throw that on top of an already hard job, which most people would consider being a landlord hard, why would you throw joining the hospitality industry on top of that? Make it make sense to me. Let's just do a real quick scenario. As a landlord, you have to run the credit of one person. But when you do an Airbnb, none. 40 people staying at your property, not one of them credit check. Not one of them a background check. Yeah.
Who does that?
So you're telling me that more inventory pushes prices down? Who would have ever thought that? Who would have said, there's going to be a lot of houses coming on the market because people could not afford it to begin with. People were buying things because of a fad. They weren't buying them saying, this is a long-term thing. They were buying them trying to make a quick buck. But here's the thing. A lot of these people did not make the money.
As a joke, and he would then share.
See, I've shown you on Airbnb. The first clip I showed you was an individual who's losing money every month, even though she has the property filled up every single weekend. Every single weekend, she has it filled up, and she's still losing $2,000. Make the math for me. Show me how that's a great thing. Then I showed you a host at the very beginning complaining about the new laws. The laws that cities are now making to say, look, if you're gonna act as a hotel, you're gonna pay taxes as a hotel. If you want to go into these neighborhoods, you're gonna now have to register. We just can't allow the whole city to turn into Airbnbs. But you know what? Let me show you the receipts.
There are multiple video evidence, social media evidence.
Let's see what some individuals are doing dealing with the city's strict laws on Airbnb.
I'm up here at my Airbnb glamping Hollywood Hills. Today is my last guest stay before the business closes for good tomorrow, and I am absolutely a mess today. I am a fucking mess. I If you've been following me for a while, you know that 3 years ago I built this property up here in gorgeous Hollywood, California, and I poured my heart and soul into it. I got a massive SBA loan because I was an Airbnb host in the pandemic and was affected. So I was granted that, and I built this gorgeous property. And it's just really sad. It's bittersweet. The business couldn't be saved. If you saw my previous video, I had violations with the Department of Building and Safety for up here. And to get it fixed, it would have to be torn down and rebuilt, and it would cost a lot of money, and it's just a headache of something I've been fighting with for 7 months. So I don't want to do it. It's the right choice to close the business, but I'm grieving the loss today.
Grieving the loss. Not only is she grieving the loss, but she's going to take a hit on the SBA loan. It's going to ruin her credit if she doesn't pay it back. Is she going to pay it back, or is she going to file bankruptcy? Is she going to take out the massive $500,000 plus loan that she took out to build that stuff? Is she going to continue paying on that while there's nothing there? Because SBA wants their money. I'm telling you, SBA wants their money. If you default on this is the worst type of loan to default on. A government loan. You won't be able to get anything when it comes to government funding if you default on this. But let's just break this down. When she built the property as code for residential. Oops. When she built the property, she built it underneath residential code. But guess what? The city said this. Now, I know this is going to surprise you guys. The city said, if you're going to have multiple people going into basically a hotel, hundreds and hundreds of people going into that area, it can no longer be residentially coded. Now you have to make a decision. You can leave it as a residential, but you're not going to live there because you need that money to pay the loan. So you living there isn't going to work. You can sell the property, but there's probably going to be some issues with that. See, this is what I'm saying, guys. At the end of the day, look, I'm giving you guys examples. It's murky water. When you're trying to make so much money as a hotel, something that is a commercial property, but you want to do it in residential areas. This is where the city has all the power and you have none. The city could say, we don't want that here. Zoning permits that, and you have to do it.
Very careful. Hold on. Very careful. This is what I said. I said be very careful.
This is the reason why I said stay away, because the cities want their money. But let's hear what some realtors are saying in the area about Airbnb properties.
You might not know this, but the Airbnb market on the coast has been crashing out for a couple years now. There have been so many vacancies and so many empty rentals all over the coast, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, that people are starting to freak out and they are all putting their homes and condo homes for sale. About 3 to 4 years ago, there were hardly any listings for sale under like $300,000 in Myrtle Beach, and now there's like 1,500 condos.
How does she know? She's one of them. She bought into the Airbnb craze too as a real estate agent. And so she is telling you for first-hand experience. But now you see, it's hindsight is 2020. When you look back at it, you go, well, that makes sense why this isn't working. It makes total sense. Who's gonna pay all of these expensive fees? And here's the thing. Not only are you dealing with the economy going down, not only are you dealing with property values going down, not only are you dealing with cities being against you and regulating and telling you, you can't be here, you have to pay a fee. And matter of fact, there's only a certain amount of Airbnbs we want in this area. So fight it out. So my question is why wouldn't you just go to a hotel? It's easier. It's cheaper. No, you don't have to worry about jumping up fees. You can have your room cleaned multiple times. Every time you leave, they will clean. But you can't get that with Airbnb. Not only does Airbnb charge you as if they're having housekeeping coming in and changing everything that day. That's how much they're charging you. But the nights are even more expensive. Airbnbs now are $600 a night. Huh? $600 a night? but you don't believe me.
I paid $1,800 for an Airbnb for it not to be as I expected. Bro, I got there and there are short hairs, long hairs, curly hairs all over the bed. There are pin stains. There's literally shit stains all over the bed. I had messaged the people 2 days before to tell them if I can get checked in early because I need to be checked out 11 at my other place. And they said, oh, we'll let you know. There's no way to know because the other people, right? Okay, cool. You had enough time and yet you still chose not to clean the room. Like, make it make sense. It's so crazy. Like, Austin, Texas Airbnb hosts, get your shit together, okay? Not to mention that it was hotter inside than it was outside.
This is why Airbnb hosts are now fleeing the scene. This is the reason why now you don't hear many people talking about Airbnb. It's quiet.
Garbage.
You remember you used to go onto YouTube and it'd be like, Airbnb, learn how to be a host, make $1 million from being this. That was the play.
I made $3 million in just 6 months as a 20-year-old female entrepreneur, and you can too.
Now the play is gone. These Airbnb gurus, where are they at now? Oh, most of them have sold their properties. Because again, it's all because of all of the things that I've listed already, guys. And listen, I get it. As a business person, you have to do what you have to do. If you have to cut your losses, great. But this is what I'm trying to say. I want you guys to learn from these people's mistakes and do the research. That's the key. Do the research. Understand before you make one of the biggest purchases of your life. Because that's what this would be. And putting yourself at risk. Make sure you have everything together. Make sure your credit's together. Make sure that you have an emergency savings account. Why are you guys purchasing Airbnbs and you don't even have an emergency savings account? Make it make sense to me.
Yeah, I know, I heard that. That's corny.
You're purchasing the Airbnb and using hard money because your credit is a 500.
Damn!
Why is your credit 500? Because I don't pay anybody back. So why are you taking out a $250,000 loan? Make it make sense.
Come on, man!
But listen, guys, these hosts, they're mad. They're mad at the cities. They're mad at everybody. They're mad at you, the customer. How dare you not come to my Airbnb? How dare the city put rules and regulations on us?
Wait, what?
So the cities decided that they didn't feel like they were fucking over struggling working class people enough, so they decided that they were going to take away one of the tools that we have, which is Airbnb, to make money. Now, if you live in the city and you use Airbnb, you probably share the sentiment that it's not that we love doing it. I don't think anybody likes continually having strangers in their apartment. But most of us who use it do it because it was helping us bring in extra income in an increasingly unaffordable city, in an increasingly unaffordable country. So don't come in here with, well, you live in New York, why don't you move? First of all, moving costs money. Second of all, it's expensive and apartments are out of control all over the country if you haven't noticed. So I made a video about it when the decision first came out about a month ago when my eyebrows were still white. We're already desperate. We already don't have any money. We're already struggling just to live. But no, the one little thing that we had to try to take the edge off a little bit of this late stage capitalist hellhole, you guys take away. So this is that.
You hear? She said the city should have just let it run rampant. The city should have just said, you know what? I understand that I had someone that next door looked a little shady. They were playing, loud music. It makes your kids and you feel unsafe. But listen, I'm making a lot of money. I know. The city just cited me the other day for loud music and the people there were unruly. I understand that. All of that. They woke you up at 3 a.m. It's part of my business, man.
Sorry.
They can tell you it's okay. It's okay for your property values to drop and your kids living right there. Because I know. Someone's in the back right now trying to tell me, Orlando, you should be okay having 40 people as your next door neighbor.
What?
That's what I should be happy with. I should be happy that every morning I go outside to check my mail, or every afternoon I go out and check my mail, it's a new person there. And that's what she wants you to be happy about. And they're upset about that. See, this is what I'm talking about. On one hand, you don't do your research. On the other hand, you get mad when the city shuts down you making money. But if you would have done your research, you wouldn't have been in this situation to begin with. Fact. Let's hear from one last person. Let's see what they are saying is happening to Airbnb in their city.
We seeing the downfall of Airbnb?
Short answer is yes, you are starting to see the downfall of Airbnb. And a quick reason why you're starting to see a downfall in Airbnb, and a lot of hosts are asking what's going on, the simple answer is economics. We are entering what's called a deflationary market. Most families don't have as much discretionary income. Budgets are stretched to the max. Credit card bills are coming due. If worse, some are getting maxed out. What does that mean to you if you're a host or a super host or you have an Airbnb, whatever that looks like? Well, the first thing that gets cut in family budgets, you have to think of this for yourself, is vacations. So in short, if you run an Airbnb or you run a short-term type rental situation, things are going to get a little tight. You need to really scrutinize your numbers. And if you have a piece of property that's starting to negative cash flow, you really need to start pivoting and looking at the long-term market, or possibly even looking at selling that asset. Hope this helps.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, he said everything. Now, this is a realtor. So he's like, hey, you may want to start pivoting. Right here, I'll sell it for you. I told you to buy that, and that you were going to make a ton of money. It didn't happen, but you need to pivot, sir. And I got some people who will buy your house at a discount, of course. Oh, man. Listen, guys, listen. All seriousness, is that at the end of the day, you have to do your research when it comes to your finances. And I'm trying to stop you from making those bad decisions by, at least if you make that decision, you did a ton of research to get to that point. A lot of these people didn't do research on what would happen if a downturn happened. They didn't do research on what the city was trying to do. All they did was mostly take word of mouth and social media as proof of everything. And I tell you guys this all the time. I love how you guys listen to me, but please just do the research yourself. Also, you can listen to me, but also when you make the decision, do the research yourself. Use your eyes. A lot of time people will tell you something, but you will see something with your own eyes. And a lot of people will be like, well, I mean, he did say, but what did you see? What did you see? You're buying a property in your local area. You see for sale signs everywhere, and you go, I think Airbnb would kill it this year. No, it won't. So if you like videos like this, guys, please join the Patreon. We do exclusive videos over there, guys. You will love it. Also, too, we all know that you won't get all of your information from this one video. I need you to watch this video right here. Yes, this one right here. It will give you information on the housing market, financial news, get you to your first rental property. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.